So, as you start on your journey, whatever that journey is, whether it's a journey to get better, whether it's a journey to get right with yourself, or whether it's a journey to be a little bit more honest with yourself, I just plead with you to take it one day at a time. And if a day is too large, take it 1 hour at a time. And if an hour is too large, take it 5 minutes at a time. You're not always going to have the focus to accomplish what you would like, but hopefully you have the drive that reminds you of why you're there. And that brings you back to understanding the work, the planning, and the intention that it's going to take to accomplish the things that you would like. Hey, what's up, homies? Welcome back to another episode of Housekeeping, and it has been a while. So, how many of us have too many things on our plate? The reason I ask this is in the recent couple of sit downs that I've done between In My Shoes and Mental Health Monday, I noticed that in the spring, there's been this narrative of, doing a couple of projects, putting too many things on people's plates, people coming up with too many goals to execute at one time, including one of my homies who just did my hair recently. And what I've come to realize is a lot of us are creating these goals and we're creating these concepts and we're coming up with all these things that we want to execute, not because there's something to accomplish or there's a community to make an impact with or there's a group of people that need our help, and it's simply because we would just like the feeling of moving forward in life in general. And the reason this is important is when it comes to working in general, not like what I do over here when it comes to mental health outreach or anything else, work, period. There's a step-by-step process that you go through to accomplish things. For example, if you want to bake a cake, before baking a cake, you have to know what kind of flour am I going to use? Did I make sure to put the flour in the fridge after we've made it into dough? What kind of eggs am I going to use? What kind of filling am I going to be creating for the cake? How many layers is the cake going to have? Is this cake a graduation cake? Is it a birthday cake? Is it a celebration cake? Is it a cake just because cake? But in each part of this narrative or each part of this thing that you're looking to do with the goal of baking a cake, the goal is to bake the cake. What many people do in life is, if one thing doesn't work out, maybe that's not for me, right? And instead, if this thing that I'm trying to do doesn't work out, have I explored every version of every attempt that I would need in order to accomplish the thing? Unpopular saying, it's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. I don't know who's skinning cats out here. You shouldn't be skinning cats, right? When it comes to what you would like to accomplish, I believe, and what I've seen from other people, is that we really are a culmination of all the decisions that we've made. For example, if you are planning a career in tech, what isn't as important isn't what you're trying to accomplish. What is important is after you figure out what you're trying to accomplish or what you would like to be in tech, because tech is a whole ocean and you're supposed to just find an island and stick to it and create a foundation, is, am I surrounding myself with enough people who do the thing that I would like to do? Am I surrounding myself with enough people that have made mistakes that I could learn from when it comes to what I would like to accomplish? And am I surrounding myself by the right people who let me know when I've gone too far, I'm going in the right direction, or I'm headed on the right path? I bring this up because a lot of the decisions that we make and a lot of the things that we decide to do, the habits and the things you do yesterday are what carries you there. So when it comes to what you would like to accomplish, whether it's being healthy, whether it's being in shape, whether it's making a lot of money or being successful, those are habits that we build for ourselves. I'm speaking like this because there's this one interview that I just wrapped up last week that had to do with my friend who it'll be coming out in the month of May for Mental Health Awareness Month, but this young man had gone through mental health breakdown after mental health breakdown and episode after episode after episode. And in the story, when he wasn't getting better, he told me about how the delusion that played into things. He told me about the fact that he thought he was out of the X-Men and they were after his DNA. He told me about how he didn't believe in the medical system. And I think there's a place for people who don't believe in the medical system because the medical system has let them down. And in their experiences, I can understand why people would say they don't believe in the medication or the people that are trying to help those people. But the switch in his story happened when he started believing in the system. The switch in the story happened when the people that were around him, in terms of his loved ones and associates, they were making themselves more readily available to see what does this person need and create an environment for him. And as he got better, there were habits and things that he cut out of his life while going on the trajectory to getting better. And I saw how that affected him. And in this discussion, even though he made the right decisions, he built the right habits, he had the right people, he had the right amount of medication, and he got to a better place in his journey that he's currently in right now. Not fully recovered, but better than where he had come from, which is the results of his hard work and dedication that he's put into not only getting better, but believing that he's getting better and believing that he's working on getting better. Now he's at a place that he's never been since all of this started, I'd say about 5 years ago. Now, in reflection, in terms of the work that we've done on this side, there were a lot of times I thought about quitting the platform and the work that I do. And I'm big on, hey, just don't ever be afraid to quit something. Don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be afraid to, put it down. But before I make these decisions, I'm very big on asking myself, well, have we done everything that we need to do before stopping? Have we accomplished what it is that we came here to do? And are the people we're looking to help or the community we're looking to affect or the impact that we were looking to make, are we closer to making that impact and causing the ripple effect than we were before doing the work that we do? And have we explored all our options on what the approach should be on what we would like to do? Now, at this chapter in the work that we've done when it comes to Get Home Safe in the organization, I realize that a lot of the work that we do is the A and the C. The A is the start of what you're looking to accomplish, and the C is, did we accomplish the thing? But what my focus is starting to become, and I see where the work is taking me, is how important is B? How do we get there? And how many steps does it take in the process of B to get to C? So when people want treatment or people want help or there's an expectation, there's this assumption that, look, I'm doing all these things to get better, but getting better isn't vertical. It's not just straight up like you were here and then you just got better. Sometimes getting better means you go from point A to B to C, and C is a little bit close to A than it is, but then you get to D, and D is like this leap up, but then you get to E, and E is somewhere between C and E. There's like just a little G that's right there, and you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. And it's like, well, that's what recovery is. Recovery or getting better at something is, you've made so many mistakes that when you come back around and it's time to make that same mistake again, you recognize the mistake, and instead of making the mistake, you make the right decision, even whether it feels good or not, you make the right decision because that's the best decision that needs to be made for that moment, whether you enjoy it or not. And that's what you've worked towards. Now, this it's like a duh moment. Like, of course you need structure. Of course you need a process. Of course you need people around you. Of course you need folks to help you to get to where you would like to go, but not everyone has access to that. The young man that recovered in the story from all those manic episodes, he was a kid. Now he's a young adult. Now he feels guilty for a lot of what he's gone through, but there's hope. And to sit down, I gave him credit for all the work that he did, but I could feel the weight on his shoulders for the work that he has done or the work he feel he hasn't done yet or hasn't accomplished. I could see him juggling a lot of his relationships and how people view him now. I could see the wishing this was just over, but the unwillingness to give up on himself, which is really important because in your journey, you technically dictate where it starts and where it stops. Because your journey is not always the problem or part of the problem. Your journey may happen because there was a problem, or your journey may happen and then you become aware, yo, there's a problem that I need to take care of, and I need the help of everyone around me to hopefully take care of this or head in the direction of what care looks like for whatever the situation is. So there's just so many steps that we are not giving ourselves credit for, myself included. Making sure not to work with the wrong people. Making sure that when I do sit downs that the voice of whoever I do this discussion with is heard properly. Making sure that I don't waste my time on frivolous things or things that are being inquired of that actually don't affect the end product, and separating someone else's insecurities from the product that I put out or the work that I execute and I work on. Because it's a one-man team. I work with a lot of people, but at the end of the day, most of the work that we do is a one-man band. I have folks that give me advice and folks that pour into stuff that we would like to do. Hence, the new camera, very important. Hence, batteries for when we travel and we have to do interviews in a different environment. Hence, understanding I may need to take more time to myself and train a little bit more and cut some weight so I'm able to do everything that I'm able to do in just one fluid movement. There's a lot of projects that are coming up soon between the month of May, June, July, August. And there's going to be a lot of decisions that are made. But with everything that said, I want you to walk away with a newer understanding that not just every goal, but every intention is going to take a certain amount of work behind it. It could be getting healthy. It could be getting something accomplished. It could be coming up with a new idea and understanding that your new idea isn't really going to come to fruition until episode 15. And then understanding that what you thought your idea was is what is very different from what the thing in front of you is becoming, and creating space for that thing, that concept, that idea to just run the course of where it would like to go and not where you thought it needed to go. And understanding that's necessary, and that's why you're starting to see those things. Tomorrow's, when I drop these, it's always Fridays. Drop these on Fridays. Have a lot of important meetings with a lot of folks that are sharing personal ideas for me. I've had a lot of sit downs with people that I haven't seen for about 5 to 6 years when I first started the work that we do here. But in these discussions, they're a reflection of the steps that I used to take when I started. And how they see me now, this just happens to be one of the finish lines that I'm probably going to cross in a lot of the work that I do. And these are finish lines you yourself are going to cross in the work that you would like to do, or the things you're looking to accomplish, or, you know, an amalgamation of the goals and where that hard work has taken you. So As you start on your journey, whatever that journey is, whether it's a journey to get better, whether it's a journey to get right with yourself, or whether it's a journey to be a little bit more honest with yourself, I just plead with you to take it one day at a time. And if a day is too large, take it 1 hour at a time. And if an hour is too large, take it 5 minutes at a time. You're not always going to have the focus to accomplish what you would like, but hopefully you have the drive that reminds you of why you're there, and that brings you back to understanding the work, the planning, and the intention that it's going to take to accomplish the things that you would like. I've had a lot of phone calls last month about people that I've helped, intentionally, unintentionally, about people I've worked with, about their families and how things are looking for them and how they're doing. And I get to be grateful. You don't always get to be grateful when you help people. You don't always get to enjoy the fruits of their labor and celebrate with them. So, just really grateful right now. This has been another episode of Housekeeping. Thanks to all you homies for pulling up and folks that hear me rant about all the things that I get to reflect on and what happened in the last couple of weeks, the phone calls and everything else. It's your boy Juice Jones from Get Home Safe. Like, subscribe, share. Hopefully this little tidbit sharing with you guys the steps that it takes or the amount of energy that it takes to take the steps in the right direction helps somebody out there. And yeah, reach out to someone who you haven't talked to in a while just to hear their voice. Also, happy birthday to my sister. Happy birthday, Kim. So, it's been your boy Juice Jones from Housekeeping. Peace.